Yo, 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 welcome back to Chrissy Bold TV. Big up to ManDem in the building. Thank you for joining us for another edition of What ManDem Saying. I believe this is episode 27. Wow, this thing is flying. Bigger. Thank you so much. You know the deal. Let's jump into housework. Share, subscribe, and like. You know the deal. Get the algorithm up. Please get the algorithm up. Subscribe. Our goal is 400 before the end of the month. And likes 21. Big up to Colin. He's in the building. How you doing, Colin? Hope all is well with you. Happy hump day. Hope the week is treating you well and finish the week strong. Big up yourself, man. Big up. Thank you for being in the building. You guys know what this show is all about. It's not all about Liverpool. We're just gonna be vibing. There's so much stuff to talk about. A lot of them are just a bunch of nonsense to me, but they're starting to make their rounds, which is starting to annoy and irritate the living daylight out of me. Of course, some of it has to do with Liverpool. Some of them don't have to be, be done with Liverpool. We will talk a little bit about the possible Liverpool lineup for today's match versus West Ham United. For what's it called? The Carabao Cup? Yes, sir. And then we'll make a little conversation about what Pep said about Carabao Cup. Yes, very interesting. This man, who's an ultimate perfectionist, always want to win everything, says that they're not gonna waste energy with this tournament, with this cap, or as he said it. Very interesting indeed, coming from him, because when he first came into the league and he was told, he said every trophy, every cap is important. So where did he's getting so much energy for? Personally, I believe that he's throwing shade to the English football because of the court case. I think that could be it. He's throwing shade to the cup, because of the court case. I don't know. I know Arsenal fans want to make it about, they still triggered from the Sunday match. I don't think that's what it is. Right now, my personal belief is Pep have checked out. I believe this is his final year. If he signs a new contract, I'm going to be shocked. Even if he does sign a new contract, these managers, or players, they will sign a new contract and then bounce. So I am in the mindset that this is his final year. He's gone. Hence the reason why making some reckless comment. I mean, a lot of managers, especially foreign managers, have been accused of not taking English caps seriously. Sorry to make it about Klopp, but they used to say that he doesn't take the English caps, the FA and the league cap. He never took it seriously until recently when he went for the quad. A lot of managers, we remember Mourinho, he wanted to win everything, right? Arsene Wenger used to just use the kids. Pep used the squad. I was big up to GG. It's like, hey, maybe just because his squad was so, he had a bigger squad than everybody else, and his second string team was somebody else's first string team. You know what I mean? So it always looked like he wanted to win everything. But when you talk to him, he would say, yes, I want to win everything. Every cup is a cup and blah, blah, blah. Now he's talking about we're not going to waste energy. Is it because he's frustrated that Rodri got injured and possibly out for the end of the season? yeah, I mean, there's so many variables in it. What do you guys think? Big up to Honesty is in the building. Apparently, Rodri doesn't only got an ACL, also a meniscus injury, but I'm not 100 sure on the meniscus. Yeah, he said, I want to win everything. Facts. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, oh man. And before we continue, um, yeah, man, sorry for Rodri, man. That's a very ultimate competitor here, very good player who has been getting injured. His injury, the thing that annoying the hell out of me is nobody was around him yet in the first 5 minutes. And yes, sir, we got a guest in the building. NG, big up yourself, man. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you,
No
brother. How you
problem.
doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
Not bad, not bad. I was just beginning this year, This show really is about everything. But sometimes it ends up being a Liverpool show, right? This is just things that, I call it what ManDem is saying because we go around figure out what nonsense people are saying, whether it's about Liverpool or anybody, we don't care. Right now, I'm just talking about Pep Guardiola's press conference. I don't know if you heard about it, where he basically said the only thing that everybody heard about was we are not going to waste time and waste energy in this tournament, right? Meaning the Carabao Cup. Have you heard about
Oh
that?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Big up Red for Life. Big up yourself, man. Thank you for joining us. Uh,
Unfortunately, I've not heard about the press conference, and I've
oh
been
yeah.
online today, the whole morning.
Oh, okay. Everything going well with you, man?
Yeah, everything good. Everything
Hmm.
good. Working from home, just chilling, working. Unfortunately, my manager canceled the meeting I was supposed to have, so of course
Oh,
I have.
okay.
Yeah, but everything okay. Everything good with you?
Oh, all is well. All is well. Um, you know, I've been listening to a lot of nonsense today. I mean, during the week, which is annoying the hell out of me. And we would discuss most of it. I mean, one of a big up to Sideline. Sideline, big up yourself. Thank you for
Big up
joining us.
sideline.
Yeah, this is just a community show. I said, knowing Pep, he will put cover check in the DM. They will still win the Prem. Last season, Rodri missed a couple games and they got only 13 points versus the top six. Can't stand City, but they are a machine. Facts, facts, facts. I mean, I personally think the reason why he's making such comment because when you look at his demeanor, it was like, yeah, right. I think he's throwing shade at the English football because of the court case, possibly. I think he's
Hmm.
frustrated because of the injury to Rodri.
Yeah.
And my third point is, I think he's checked out. I think he's checked out. I think he's done. After this season, he might sign a contract just to make the City fans happy. But personally, I think the man is bouncing next season. What do you
Yeah, I
think?
think it's gone. I think it's gone. I agree with you. It's gone. But most importantly, with the injury and everything,
Hmm.
you know what? I think it's also trying to. Pep Guardiola is big enough to create headlines and is creating headlines that drift things away
Hmm.
from the state of his team, and maybe the focus now is going to be another kind of headline that
Hmm.
is more, to me, is more like push the headlines to me, talk about me rather than talking about my team, you
Right,
know.
right.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot of different things, but it's definitely that.
You think he's to play mind games?
To some extent, yes. To
Hmm.
some extent, yes. Because with the manager that you know he is, and how
Hmm.
obsessed he is with winning titles and everything, for him to
That's
say
like,
that
yeah.
it should be the least of his worries, but he knows that he can still say that and win it.
Right, right, right. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I play something from Twitter. Did I get a strike?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
So basically, if you can read a little bit of the because me and G and myself, we were kind of going back and forth with, whether that's how he always thought about the League Cup. So he said we are not going to waste energy for this competition, the big statement, coming from Match of the Day. So people, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I agree with you, and somehow I think he's trying to get people mind from what happened on Sunday. I think that's part of it. But for Pep has never played down any competition. That's the thing that was with me. He's the ultimate perfectionist. He wants to win everything.
Exactly.
So him saying that, I'm like, yo, Pep. So my conclusion is he's throwing shade to English football. He's frustrated about Rodri's injury. I think that could be his reason why. And
again, guess what, Kwasi? Guess what? I also think that is also trying to mellow down the expectation.
Right. That good point.
Yeah, it's also trying to mellow down the expectation so that people can also see it in another way that I mean, I don't have to win everything because City get into every competition to win. So even if he doesn't win something, it's for me, it's a calculated move where it's like, let me put it out there. So in case things start falling apart or anything happens, then I said I wasn't that interested in this one. Yeah.
No, definitely. I agree with you. It was just, to me, it was just weird. I'm like, this guy usually, I mean, we remember Mourinho came in and he didn't care. He put the DDA and play games against like Sheffield United, who were in the bottom part of the pyramid. As Wenger is the ultimate, the one who wanted to put the kids to play this. Frankie won a couple. He's like, hey, yeah, I'm not really. I focus on FA and then Champions League. Club, when he first got there, they were like, bro, you don't take this thing serious. He's like, no, I take every camp seriously. Towards the last, but he did it in the first five.
At the start, he didn't, and I guess it's because we didn't have the squad.
Exactly, right? Pep, but one thing that G told me, which I agree with G, was he said this guy has the biggest, at the time they had their squad, the bench was better than half of the league. So it's like whoever he puts in, they're winning it anyway. So, but Refulai said he has a question for us. What do you all define as a team goal? I heard someone earlier in another stream say we aren't scoring team goals now. I got what you say. I thought we have scored quite a few team goals under Slot. Yeah, that makes no sense because counter-attack is a team goal because it takes 3-4 people to get to the final goal. I mean, the goal that Jota gave to Diaz, that counter-attack, that's a team goal.
That's a team goal.
All the goals against Manchester United was team goals. If they're talking about set piece, how many set pieces do you think we've scored so far, Inji?
I know we got 2 in the Champions League against Milan.
Yeah.
What else have we had?
I don't remember the last time we had a set piece goal. People in the chat, if you know, please let us know.
World Cup finals for Virgil.
That was a long time ago. I think he's talking about Slot.
Oh, about Slot.
Yeah. Slot's since Slot been here.
I would think that it's I'm not sure we have any other one. Yeah.
And then somebody's question, how many players have to touch the ball before it's considered a team goal?
Yeah. And if you think about the goal we didn't score, the one with Salah, where Salah made like the 360. Was that against? Who was that against? I think it was the first day.
Bournemouth, right? Yeah, against Bournemouth, he had a chance. The ultimate one was the one with Szoboszlai against Manchester United.
No, but can you remember the one with Salah where everyone touched him? It was against. Was it against? No, it wasn't Forest. It probably was the first game of the season.
Ipswich.
Ipswich, yeah.
Yes. Was it the second half?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But I guess it was really a good move. If that would have gone in, it should have been like really up there.
Big up to G's in the building. People, if you don't know him, you better ask somebody. Go to his channel, subscribe, share. You know what the deal is, guys. Big up to G. Big up to G. G, if you're available, text me. I'll bring you on. We could have a few minutes of chat. I was just talking about the conversation we had about Pep Guardiola and his not taking this, wasting too much energy on this. On this competition. Yeah, sideline is like we are scoring goals in more than before. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, in more ways than before. Yeah,
that's true. How many? Oh, yeah, we already talked about that. What's in a break-in? Federico Chiesa said first. Chiesa said to his leave. Yeah, that's what Anslot said during his press conference. Possibly he will play, but he won't play 90 minutes. He doesn't think that he is fully fit for that. Diaz Nunes scored goals and assisted with a weak foot. We got goals from transition, long balls from pressing. Yep. I mean, Nunes' goal, if you don't talk about, that's not a team goal because he headed to Salah. Salah flicked the back, bro. You don't score. You don't score it without a team. Yeah. What they say? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, the next conversation I would like to have, and I was hoping G would show up because he did a great show. Tariq, and big shout out to Tariq and Ansman TV, aka the Hollywood man. They went in depth about Arsenal versus Man City, right? And they brought all the gadgets. I'm telling you, Ninja, they brought all the gadgets. It felt like it was Sky Sports analysis. Ansman was have this AI thing. I mean, it was nice. It was nice. But I have something else to say about this. Why do people think when there's rough housing or housing or however you want to say it, that's what makes the game, that's rivalry. To me, that's nonsense. Yeah, it's nice to be, bumping each other once in a while, just showing your competitive edge. It's okay. But personally, what Haaland did to Gabriel when they scored the goal, personally, the league needs to either suspend him, I don't care, fine him. Throwing a ball to somebody's head, which these days, everything is about CTE and concussion and all that kind of stuff, and you throwing the ball at somebody in the back of his head where he's not paying attention. To me, as a sports, person, I didn't like that. Yeah, it's funny, but I didn't like that. Like G said, yeah, I agree, Kwesi, but Arsenal fans need something to be relevant right now because winning trophy isn't something there. Exactly, that's my point. We've been told City has been baby brother in, side checking us, blah, blah, blah. But Arsenal fans thinking that exactly what G is saying, thinking that that's what tells them that they have arrived now. I'm sorry. Haven't we been telling the rest of the world that this is the league that anybody can beat anybody? Right? That's why we promote EPL as such. I believe I watched Norwich beat City. I watched Leicester City go into Etihad and beat the living daylight out of them 5-2, the same year that Aston Villa thumped us 7-2. You know what I'm saying? So why was it so amazing that, oh my God, Arsenal, bro, if with everything that Arsenal did on Sunday, if you don't win the league, what's the difference? If this was like 25th 25th week of the season, 25th week, I got you. This is just the 5th week. Somebody make it make sense, please. Go ahead, Inchi. Like, I'm trying to make sense out of this.
To be honest to you, I can see the context of rivalry that is being built out of all of this. And rivalries are just, some of them are like clubs that come from the same area as me and you know it. But some of it can be built based on events that have happened in the past, just like you know.
Yeah.
But when you think about that game, the reason I can understand both fan bases talking about the rivalry is when you think about a football game, and I can instantly tell you about 10 different instances that happened in that game. You have just named one. I've seen clips of Saliba and Haaland, the collision between both of them.
Yeah.
5 seconds into a game, someone runs into Rodri, the Calafiori goal, the controversy, this, that, and I'm even seeing kids on the bench going to talk to the keeper to sit on the floor, things like that. Carragher came up this morning with this conversation with Paul Scholes and all of that. So there's a lot of conversation that is being drawn from just that one, which I feel that, and you even the interviews after the game, when you listen to the interviews, and how many teams have you seen this season that even after everything was said and done, 2 days after, you still have players giving interviews about the other team and saying whatever they have to say. So, and you think about the Haaland reaction at the end of the game where he's telling
be humble. Why does he
be humble? And I'm just saying that there are a lot of stories that you can build out of this one game. I mean, it's probably the game with the most stories. Any direction that we take, we can talk about it for the next 30 minutes. And in a way, I would agree to disagree that this is a rivalry building up with Klopp and Pep. It was a lot of respect between both of them. I think that Arteta is a bit more arrogant. And that's just me. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
But I think that he also feels that I'm getting to a stage where I have to build a personality for myself. He was a decent player. And I mean, everybody says it. And you and me know that the coach is definitely the representation of the reflection of his team. Anyhow, your teammates or your players conduct themselves, you can see that this comes from what the coach tells them to do. And Arsenal are building a reputation for themselves and with a lot of personality in their own way. And credit to them. I think that once they win something, there could be other conversations that people have, but you and me know that they're very close to that point. I don't think they'll do it. I personally don't think they'll do it. But if anything, I watched some guy saying this morning that the difference between City and Arsenal last season was 2 points, which in fairness was. And when you think about Rodri and the impact he had and the games he won for City, it's just logical to say that the difference, if the difference was 2 points, then Rodri is more than 2 points. So it should be closer than it is at the moment. And you think about the players they recruited and everything, they brought in a lot of really good players. I feel Moreno is good, Calafiori is really good, and I think it should move the needle. It should be a proper conversation now of who wins. But I think there's something going on there between both of them.
You know what the worst thing is between people as Liverpool and Klopp was so respect. No. People didn't understand. I agree with what you're saying. I know what you're saying, and it's part of building a rivalry, right? Now, but check this out. Excuse me. What what's name I said? Bernardo Silva was saying. People didn't get it. They just say, "Oh, Liverpool." Even Liverpool fans, he went over ahead. They think like, "Oh, he said Liverpool won something." So no. He's saying, and this is what the other fans have been using against us. He said, "How can you say you call this rivalry and they beat you guys 4 or 5 times to the league and you guys won 1? Why are you calling this a rivalry when the other team hasn't won anything?" What he's saying is we respect Liverpool because Liverpool is coming here to beat us. And not just they're going to beat us in the game, they're going to beat us with the league. You see what I'm saying? Because beating Liverpool beating City always equal to us winning the league. was it the 3 times or the 2 times that we were shy? If we win at Etihad, we win the league. Yeah. That's what you call rivalry to me. Not the because whatever City and Arsenal doing is basically what Liverpool and Everton has been doing for generations.
But that's still a rivalry.
Yeah, but but whatever Liverpool and Everton does it affect anything at the end of the league? No. That's what
not necessarily.
Exactly. So that's what you call rivalry, because rivalry is whatever these guys are doing is going to affect the league, right? Liverpool and Manchester United being the biggest rivalry in the English pyramid. I don't remember any of them that equals into a winning league. Liverpool and United have never been at the top at the same time. One is at the top, the other one is struggling. Mm-hmm. The reason why it's a rivalry is because it's historical content. There's more to it than football. Football is that match of football between Liverpool and Manchester United is the war that set of fans are going for, but they can't because you know what I mean. That's the battle. Instead of people fighting, killing each other, through whatever, the game is the answer.
But think about it this way. I'll throw the question back at you based on the context, because you said that. I mean, one of the things you've said is if when it was Liverpool against Man City, the games that determined who won the league was the clash between both of you.
Yeah.
And when you think about the difference between Arsenal and Man City last season, how many points was it?
Yeah, they beat City, right? They beat City at Etihad, and then they drew. The points between them won't matter because
they beat City at the Etihad. They drew.
No, sorry. They beat City at the Emirates, and then they drew. The game, if this game right here that they just played.
So what if they won against City at the Etihad?
They win the league.
That's what I'm saying.
Because guess what? That, to me, this is the reason why I said that, because then they will have like 5 or 6, 7 games left. Remember what I said? If the game was at the 25th or close to the end of the season, and this is what happens, then I got you. When they played at the Etihad last year, that was their chance to beat City and win the league. Then people were like, okay, they have arrived. They did not. They went there to play a masterclass, defensive masterclass. And then the next game got beat by Aston Villa, because their mindset was
Villa fans.
It's because their mindset was, if we don't lose, nobody can beat us from now on.
Yeah.
But see, that's the difference between the Arsenal fans, and we're gonna talk about the great point that you made about Arteta, that a manager's image is what the team is, right? The team reflects the manager.
Yeah.
What did Arteta do? And then by the time I'm done with this, you'd be like, okay, I see where Kwesi's going. When Arteta came to the league, became a manager, the first thing he did was disrespect Klopp. Bro, you haven't won anything, and you coming in there and you disrespecting the next manager up. What happened?
Frank Lampard did the same thing.
How well did he end up with it? You see what I mean?
The Haaland incident reminded me a lot of what Lampard did to Klopp. A lot.
But see, Haaland has won everything. People are forgetting that.
Yeah, but as a player,
he went a little bit too far. I get you.
I think he went far, and I think Haaland went far as well.
No, I told you.
It's not your place, but
it's not your place. Why are you talking to the manager, right?
Yeah. And again, Kwesi, if I may say this, I think Jesus should have done more. I think Jesus should have stood up more. I just think for some reason, maybe Haaland is too big. But for some reason, I think Jesus was in a place where he should have done more or said more. That's just my impression.
That's what I'm saying. Because Arteta, you came in, and then all of a sudden you come into Anfield, you disrespect Klopp for no particular reason, and then you learn your lesson that you never did that. Then what did he do? He goes to training and play. You never walk alone. And then guess what? Whatever he started, right? Whatever he has started has still been lingering around. The siege mentality. See, siege mentality sometimes works, sometimes it does not. Somebody put it, I think it was Sideline, who made a very good comparison. No, it was Honesty. Honesty said back in the day it was Mourinho versus Wenger, calling men specialists of failure. But I see he made that comment after when he came back from Madrid, not the first time around. When Mourinho first,
Jose had won everything. Like for me, it's not that bad.
And right. That was before he said that. Said he never said it when he first came to the league.
Yeah, that was just
never. You see what I mean? Yeah. So Mourinho, when he came in, he did a siege mentality, but his was different.
His was different.
You see what I mean? He didn't disrespect anybody. He came in and said everybody is against us, and then he spent the money, and then that's why he did. This guy says, we don't respect anybody except City, because if you beat City, you win the league. And that has been their mentality ever since Arteta has become the manager. He disrespected club a couple of times. They lost. Their players disrespected Liverpool. They lost. And then when they thought they were close, what happened? They drew, right? And that was off and luck because the ref did not call the penalty. And ever since, he's been trying to get himself like, oh, I'm the manager. We don't do that, because there's a lot of reports against him crossing the line, all that foolishness he does on the sideline. But guess what? His fans and the players are still stuck in the same mentality of respect us, respect us, respect us. People, and that's what Bernardo is saying. Bro, you haven't won anything for us to respect you. That is the worst little bro anybody can do to you. All of us who have siblings, and you have your little siblings trying to, get your attention. There's another word I could use, but I don't want to use that. I want to respect people. Your little sibling is trying to get your attention, and you'll be like, man, bro, what did they do? They throw a tantrum. Am I lying? They throw a tantrum. You'll be like, bro, I don't care how big, if you play American football or play rugby, I'm still your big brother. I'm going to smack you around here, right? Until that sibling does something substantial, then you'll be like, okay, big man, what's up? What do you want to talk about? Other than that, City is still basically, they're just messing with Arsenal fans, making them think that, yes, we won something. This is the 5th game of the season. You could lose again a couple of games, and we know how volatile Arsenal fans are. Let them lose the next match and see if whatever they did at City even matters. They want Arteta out. So what I'm saying is, yes, you don't have to win all the time, because somebody's better than you. But the way they are approaching it is wrong. Because Trossard, you just saw the refs give a yellow card to your player who barely touched the ball, and he got a red card. And you should have gotten a yellow card off the foul before you kicked the ball. And then you went in and kicked the ball. Now you guys are upset. There's a discipline problem in the team. You can't win. Look at how Liverpool won the league.
Think about it again, Kwesi. Let me be honest. Mm-hmm. I'm not here for City or Arsenal or two clubs I don't like. It's not even close. But what I'm saying is, any fan or any footballer, I've seen supposed like kick the ball away. Any fan or any footballer can be caught by those kind of emotions. Mm-hmm. And I understand that the league has said this, they've had meetings with PFL or whatever, talk about these things. But in the heat of the moment, I believe that it's hard to control yourself. Mm-hmm. And I just really believe that these coaches or these refs could do with some emotional intelligence or just being reasonable, because for me, that destroyed the game. And you should know that amongst anything, you should know it's a big game. It's the biggest game of the season for both clubs. A red card for that kind of... Because think about it in another way. Mm-hmm. If that got waved away, nobody should have said anything about... Not a single soul should have mentioned that incident. Because at the end of the day, we didn't even know why the yellow card was given. So if that was thrown under the carpet, nobody should have said anything about it.
I'm gonna be the bad guy on this one. When Liverpool was so-called competing with City, what was the buzzword that everybody used to say? Everything is what? Fine margins.
Yeah, of course. Everything is.
Hence again, it wasn't just the fine margins on how we play against them or we play against everybody. It was the fine margins between what the refs were calling when City's playing or when Liverpool playing. For example, Everton, Rodriguez ball touches his hand, they don't call a penalty, right? Whichever, and everybody said that. Even refs, former refs came in and said, yeah, they made a mistake over there, right? That was the ushering of the VAR coming in the following season, right? There has been some calls that we were like, yo, if we had gotten that call, Liverpool possibly win the league. Fine margins. As a player, if you think that you are close to this champion, why are you not dialed in? That's what I'm trying to say. They went in trying to get City's attention instead of winning the game. We all know these refs are useless. Look at what they did to us last season.
But you know what my problem is? You know what my problem is? In all fairness, not cutting you short, but in all fairness, my problem is not whatever the outcome from this game was. Because going forward, what happens to the next game? Believe you me, it's a conversation we'll have in 3 months' time. And I'm just really being very lenient to say 3 months. We could have it this weekend, next weekend, anytime. Yeah. It's not just about the Arsenal game. For me, it's something that we should be able to. It shouldn't be a one size fits all. And
right. That's what I'm saying. These refs, we've been Liverpool fans. When you talk about refs, there shouldn't be any set of fans who should not know how bad these refs are. So that one we already know. But one thing that, if you remember, even if the year that we won the league, people think that all the calls were on Liverpool's side. Go back. We were at the bottom. That we lost. We were at the bottom of how many calls, especially for club season. I think 5 year span where a lot of calls was against us. And then to factor in the 12:30 games, especially if you're on my side, the 4:30 games. You know what I mean? So if Arsenal, I was told when I started coaching, and I used to complain about the refs. One of the managers, older gentleman, he said, listen, you may be right. The reason why they don't listen to you because you're not winning yet. When you start winning, you're going to see more favorable calls on your side. Yeah. What? He was 1,000% right. As soon as we change the trajectory of our matches, I'm getting calls and I'll be like, oh, what? I haven't said anything yet. Usually I'm outside on the sideline pulling my hair, mad at the ref. Now I'm actually sitting down. Why am I sitting down? Get up, coach. You're not doing anything. Do your job, right? So that's what I'm saying. Arsenal, you haven't won anything. You haven't won anything for anybody to respect you. All you're doing is giving people a show. You're making it entertaining for the rest of us. When you start winning, I promise you, the calls will change. This match doesn't mean anything if you don't win anything. Or this match doesn't mean anything if you lose the league by 1 point. Then we'll be like, see, if they had that call against what's the name, Trossard reverse, they were winning anyway. That's 2 more points. They would have been on top. They win the league. When you do that, because Liverpool, we did that twice. So Liverpool can say anything bad call that affect us, we can go back and say this is the reason why we didn't win the league. Arsenal is not there yet. The closest you ever been to the league is last season, and you still came in second. And we were like, what, 2 or 3 points behind you? So to me, I think Arsenal fans need to temper that. Yeah, you could make fun of us. We are the side chick and baby bro. But nobody's respecting you. The league don't respect you. You saw about the rest of the league complaining about the dark horse Arsenal. I don't know where that one came from, but I'm sorry. That just tells you that Arteta, maybe that's why Haaland was saying, bro, be humble. If Arteta had come in the league and just started doing his thing just like everybody else and win the league, hey, you act a fool. You the champion, right? Or former champion. Yeah. But you didn't do anything. You just showed up and you trying to bully everybody. And bro, you are like two 2.5 feet tall and you want to bully people, you don't stand in your manager's square and he's always around everybody else's area. I'm sorry. And that should tell us the difference between the mindset of Liverpool fans and even Manchester United fans, because they believe that they should win all the time. Arsenal fans think that they're here, and people be like, bro, remember they used to say 30 years for Liverpool? Arsenal's at 20-something now. Anyway.
What about United?
United at 16. They're creeping up. Why do you think they're losing their mind every single day when...
And they've got at least 10 more.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, ManDem people, let's talk about today's match. Liverpool versus West Ham, Carabao Cup. What's your assessment? What's your assessment?
Based on?
I don't know if you listen to
atmosphere,
everything,
I mean, like there's a lot of prediction going on with everybody, every page that I watch regarding lineups and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the thing with the manager is we've never seen how he handles cup games, so it's hard to predict. A lot of people also say that he just has a tendency of not making too many changes, but then again,
that's the debate, yeah.
Yeah. Then again, it's Liverpool, so it's tricky to think about the number of changes he's going to make. But there are certain players that for sure would get minutes. Yeah, for sure, like 100%. And he's gone ahead to already declare the keeper for the game, which wasn't much of a debate considering Alisson's state. But
I mean, this is Kelleher's Cup. Actually, they should rename Carabao Cup to Kelleher's Cup, because the man, he's the only goalie who's been winning this thing left and right. But before you move on,
rightly so, he deserves it. He's good enough.
Yes.
Good. That's why I was shocked about the keeper in the summer from Valencia. But then again, who are we?
Hey, that's facts. Good question. Keller, honestly, saying question: why do Arsenal fans think there is a conspiracy against them every time they drop points? I'm telling you, man, and that's like Trav Joe said. Anyone complain about his ass.
But again, I'll say the fans, the players are a direct reflection of what the manager is.
Yeah.
And when you see Arteta, his interviews and everything, post-game interviews, the way he behaves and everything, I think it rubs on the fans. I think because for some reason it's psychological. Like a lot of people behave like Klopp, not necessarily in the mannerism, but their way of thinking. It was heavy metal. If you notice, with the fans not being very switched on because of the new approach and everything, it takes time. It's the same thing with Pep. It's the same thing with the Pep's fans or City fans being very arrogant and all of that, very boastful, not caring about the 115 and everything. It's just a reflection of the manager, and I think it's the same for Arsenal. They just feel entitled.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You haven't won anything and you're entitled. Bro, you are the worst of the little brothers, because you have to do something for us to respect you. That's what I've been trying to say. It doesn't matter how entertaining you make the matches. They may fun of us, say, yeah, you guys and City, whoa, great match. But that's it. You out here just fighting and you are coming out with nothing. That's the worst out of everything. That's all I'm saying. But back to what we're saying, people, please share, subscribe, get the likes up, people. Come on, get the likes up. If anybody who's watching right now, if you get, click the like button, we will get to our goal. So please get the likes up, share, and don't forget the notification bell is very important when you subscribe. So do you want to try to think in Ancelot's head, get into Ancelot's head and believe what he's going to do? You already said this guy is going to be where is he at? There he is. He's going to be the goalkeeper.
Queeve is the keeper.
Yeah.
Arne.
And I believe this guy right here, what was he at? This guy here will also be a shoo-in. What do you think?
Before the Joyce report, I wasn't very certain it was gonna start, but I mean, from every indication, it is more and more likely.
Okay, so we will put him there.
Yeah.
Now, let's do the defense. I believe this is gonna. We know who this is gonna be, right?
Of course, yeah.
Let's see. We like it, Bradley. There he is. It'll be criminal if he doesn't start. Now, these two are the part where I think we all had a lot of debate about. I think this should be VVQ. What do you think?
Yeah.
People in the chat, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Don't let us do all the work. Be part of this conversation. You guys know this is a community channel. Now, a lot of people are saying VVD, the captain, is going to play. I think Gomez should have game time. What are you saying?
That's the sticky one for me. I would, if I'm going with my heart, I'll say Gomez, of course, but he clearly doesn't rate Joe Gomez to me. That's why I think. But I mean, do you want me to go with my heart or my head?
Start with one.
To be fair, look at it this way. If Gomez doesn't start, it's a massive statement of where he really sees Gomez. You see. But the door was open for Gomez. You won't open the door for a player that you rate. So if the door was open for him like Endo, it means it's not you saying I don't care. But if you're there, fine. If you're not, fine. I don't think it's giving him minutes. It's giving him an opportunity to prove himself. But if he's not there, it won't be a surprise for me. That's just what I'm trying to say. But again, Virgil needs a rest. You know, Ibu has surprisingly had a lot of games. I wasn't sure that he could really have this kind of run and non-stop. You remember last season, he wasn't really rested, but
I agree. Personally, I think the manager has learned his lesson, especially coming right after international break, where he should have rested at least 3 people, but he did not. He just went with a team that has winning, right? He's trying to build consistency and then rotate off that consistency.
Rightly so,
yeah. Which is what usually, if you want to build the team, you want to build the main squad and everybody else who fits into the main squad. But he's known to use maybe 13 players a season, but that's because he's playing most time. He play 1 game a week, right?
Yeah.
With Liverpool, you have to have 17 players. Klopp did 13 or 14 his first when he built that team that we love. He was using the same team every week,
but not for cup games, to be fair. But
not for cup game.
You know what I would say? I would say let's go for Gomez. I mean, that's just my suggestion anyway. Let's go for Gomez.
Agree.
But I think it might be. I won't be surprised to see VVD start, to be fair. And there's 2 ways you can look at this. It could be a potential game where he starts, but doesn't play the full 90. But then again, it could be a game where he's rested. But if I would suggest that we go for Gomez, but I won't be surprised to see Van Dijk starting.
Okay. And I think the left back should be Tsimikas, yeah?
Yeah, because I think the manager rates him.
Yeah.
For some reason, he really rates. Maybe because he's good on the ball. Maybe because he's really good. I mean, as compared to Robo, I think he's a better player on the ball. So maybe that's why the manager likes him. I don't know, but certainly the manager rates him, yeah.
Cool. Now, these 2 also, personally, I say this one should be this guy.
Yeah.
But that also goes with what you just said. If he doesn't start, then there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of answers, right?
If he doesn't start, there are more answers than questions.
Yes.
There are more answers than questions.
And then
if he doesn't start, it's a bye-bye.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday there was rumors that 2 clubs were looking at him. What's the name? Now,
I think you were.
Oh, did I see him?
I think you were right. Yeah, he was there.
He was there? Oh.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
they
he was
had.
there. There we go. There he is. Just
Uh,
up. It just still shows his former club.
oh,
Okay,
they
there we
show
go.
them right.
Yeah.
Okay, there he is. This is what I believe should be, but people still believe that Gravenberg is still going to play. I'm like, bro, the guy needs a rest, man. I know we
I,
love to watch him play, but he needs to rest. I think Martin is old enough and capable enough to play. What do you think?
I don't think he'll start, but
You don't
yeah, I
think he'll
get your
start?
point.
Who do you think?
I think Gravenberch starts. I don't. I mean, it's
Jeez.
the same again with Van Dijk.
Mm-hmm.
I think he deserves a rest, but again, this is sports, and
Mm.
there's a lot of science that goes behind it, and we never
Yeah.
know what the doctors say and the fitness coaches and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Moulton, I don't think he starts. I
Mm.
don't think so. But I mean, if I'm going with my head and not my heart, then
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Moulton probably.
Trav Joe thinks that Jones could be there. I think Jones. Let's revisit that real quick. When I put, I think this is gonna be no because let's let's see. Do you think Jones will be the number 10 and give Soboslai a break? Because if anybody needs a break, it's Soboslai, man.
Yeah, but then again, it's the same kind of conversation because
Mm-hmm.
I think Jones starts.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know if he starts like the 10 or he starts in the position where we have Moulton, but
Mm.
I won't be surprised to not have Moulton in that midfield. But again,
So let's check this out, right?
yeah.
Um, I'm gonna use what you just said. Curtis, sorry people, he's not a twin. And then I saw this on Grace Can show.
Yeah, I know what you're about
You
to
know what
do.
I'm talking about? And have this guy here because we've seen him play that before numerous times at
Really?
the club. What do you guys think about this one? People in the chat, what do you guys think about this? Because you know why the guy who scored the best goal of the week has to keep going, right? A lot of the players are like, you know, the funny thing, Virgil and Trent said the same thing about Nunes.
What did they say?
The same thing that we, the fans, have been saying. Calm the hell down. Like he needs to be patient. He needs to, they said they've been working with him. So it's like they are all like us. It's like all of us who play at the playground. We know what that player that we all know what your deficiency is, right?
Yeah.
And I think the same thing is with them. Yes, sir. Big up to Trigger TV. Good to see you, brethren. Hollywood Rock said Jota in the 10, he's not so sure about that. He's played that a
Yeah,
couple
I'm not
times.
so sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the thing is we Liverpool fans think with our heart and not the head.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Jota is not a 10. So
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense in our hearts, but not,
Because it would have been Elliot if Elliot wasn't
Exactly.
injured.
I think he's the biggest loser
Yeah.
for all of this couple of weeks or months. Yeah. Because believe you me, I believe that he rates Elliot even more than Jones, especially as a 10.
I mean, Jones, this is the problem with Jones, man. Every time there's something needs to be proved, he's injured. That's always been his problem.
But again, I think you said
no, Elliot. I mean Jones. Jones, because
yeah, but I'm saying I believe you said that you really enjoyed his game.
Actually, I did. At the Bournemouth, when he came in, he calmed the game down where we were able to slowly because everybody thought that he holds the ball too long. Sometimes you need a player who needs to kill the game, right? When you look at City, Bernardo Silva, that's what he does. He gets the ball, he circle around looking for people. And the greatest of all who used to do that, oh man, I miss that guy, is David Silva, right? He's the one, the ultimate pace control, everything. We don't have that. We are all action. As much as this manager is trying to get it out of us, say, people, calm down. We get the ball, we going straight. Like sometimes, like, and I think that's why Soboslai sometimes he get ahead of himself and he loses the ball. It's like he gets the ball and it's like, Mo, let's go. We're like, bro, chill, hold the ball, let everybody come into it. Now let's dictate the pace of the game. Let's finish them off, like I was saying. But
Sideline has said something very important. Before we talk about the comment you just flashed, maybe one thing I would criticize about this midfield is, which is very logical if you think about it, is what you just said. Jones is very good at retaining the ball, but do you really rate Diogo Jota and Endo to really pass the ball? Like, how much control do both of them have on the ball? That's the question. And thinking about Slot being someone who really wants to keep the ball, other than Jones, who's very good at that, you don't have a midfield there that can keep the, like, when you think about our current midfield, you have McAllister, who's very good at doing what you're saying Jones does. Then half turn when it comes to someone like Gravenberch, drive the ball forward and things like that's what he has. And Szoboszlai is just the workhorse. This midfield doesn't have any of that kind of thing other than being able to just control the game, which I don't think is something that we will go with. So I for one, think that we won't have a midfield like this, not on the Slot, not now.
Okay, so then I would say this. Honesty has a good question, but I don't want to point it out yet. So then, and Slot has always said 4-2-3-1 is not the only formation he uses. So what he say he hit us with basic, where are you at?
3-3.
No, 4-4-2. Right? Move yes, in one of the people up here. And yes, you're right. 4-3-3 could be one. I'm just using this right now.
Yeah, but 4-4-2 makes a lot more sense. I agree.
You know what I mean?
But then I'll go for Jota and Nunes up front.
I made a mistake. So Chiesa on the wing, right? I mean, it won't be a flat 4-4-2, but Jota will be, let's say, Nunes for sure.
Yeah.
So you have Jota here. I mean, Jota and Nunes up here. But the person out here, let me move this guy. People, he's not a twin. So this one here. And then, of course, we all know who's going to be here, right?
I mean, yeah.
If he doesn't show up, then we have questions. What's his name?
Cody.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If he also doesn't start, then I have a lot of questions. Is he going to be here? So this could be a possible lineup.
I agree with you. I can see that. And I remember the first game for preseason when we didn't have a lot of players back, and what he did with Jones and not Jones, with Elliott and Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
I think it's a very pragmatic guy that can always adapt things. So I could see this happening. Because one thing I also wanted to say about Jota is a lot of people will start Nunes up front and start Gakpo on the left. So what do you do about Jota? Because Jota has to play. It's true.
He also needs to get back on form.
Players into form, you know.
Yeah. So. Because I think this will keep us balanced. We don't have to do too many attack nonsense. That's why I'm kind of hesitating in using the 4-3-3. Because when we go 4-3-3, we think that we are back in club days and just go crazy. So if we were to use 4-3-3, then which one? This one. You just have to move this guy here. Now, if we were to do this, I believe, I know Trap Joe just made a comment over there. Trade, what's his name?
It doesn't exist.
Unbelievable. I think he did exist. Okay. Mm-hmm. I checked him before. Well, he doesn't exist. So let's just put anybody in there. I'll put Ali. People, don't kill me. So this is Trey, right? And then
Yeah.
right here will be Gakpo. Yes, all right.
Yeah.
The manager said this guy is starting. He won't play 20 minutes. I mean 90 minutes. So I wonder if Mo will get a chance to play again.
But you're still thinking of Nunes or Jota.
Oh yeah. So this here could be Nunes or Jota.
Yeah, and it also depends on how the game pans out. It's just 90 minutes. So what if West Ham just closes everything? It's a tricky game.
It's a tricky game. Because let's be honest, West Ham is not in form right now, but they got a couple players that can hurt you, right? Kudus, Bowen, and the all action is Antonio.
And again, go ahead.
Yeah, so I would say possibly the thing is to finish this game off. We don't need to extend it and make it too hard on ourselves. We don't need to overexert ourselves because Liverpool next week, we have another 3 games next week, right? Champions League, luckily it's a home game, but still. So the part of that, people, again, Allison is not playing is Trey because Trey don't exist in this system yet. So I think Trey and Martin will have something to say about the upcoming match. However, I think they will not start. They will probably get maybe in the 60th minute or
and I think it's more. I think if I may say something, I think it's more of Trey than even Morton.
I agree. I think Trey will have more to say than Morton will.
Because he really rates the kid.
Yes. And the crazy thing, the fact that we are sitting here having a hard time to figure this down, that's what I like. Because back in the day, we knew which lineup Klopp was going to play.
Because that's because simply because we have experience with Klopp. Like, we had Klopp for 9 years. So it only makes sense. And I still don't believe he's going to have this.
He said, I'm getting a headache watching Allison in midfield. Allison used to be a player, man. Allison used to be a...
I don't blame Sideline, man. I don't blame Sideline.
No, they need to catch up. He said, Allison in midfield with those passes will be horrendous. Yeah, man. Allison used to be a good player back in the day. But yeah, Allison is just there for young Trey. We were saying possibly Trey could start. It's not that Allison will be playing. He's injured right now.
No, Allison will be playing. But
yeah, go ahead.
I also, like I was saying, I don't think he's going to make this household changes. Like, it's a lot of changes. You can't just change 11 players.
Yeah.
So there's 3 players I think would have something to say is Gravenberg, Virgil, and maybe Szoboszlai.
I want Szoboszlai to rest, man.
But you want Gravenberg to rest, so
I want, and I'll tell you what. Gravenberg, he came into the season with groin issues.
Oh, really?
Yes. So even if you remember, I think Ipswich, he didn't play the whole 90 minutes, right? Or was it Ipswich or Brentford? He didn't play the whole 90 minutes. Szoboszlai, we all know he's all action. And he tends to burn out and then towards the end when we need him the most. That's why I'm very concerned about those two. And we don't have a direct replacement for those two.
And McAllister as well.
And McAllister, we know this guy gets beat up every time he plays, right?
Yeah.
He's always in a slot fest. So Ancelot has to figure a way to rest these guys. Yes, you could let them come in, maybe like Klopp used to do in the 65th minute, 75th minute.
Oh, I used to love those days.
You see what I'm saying? Let them get a little bit. Yeah, let them get some a little bit run in because we have a game on Saturday. But I don't want them to start. It's right now. I'm at the point where I want to win every trophy. But hey, Pep Guardiola wasn't lying. We are not. We don't need. But yeah, let me stop sharing so people don't get headaches. But yeah, so I think it's going to be a good match. West Ham needs a turnaround match for themselves because they are a very good team. Just they haven't figured it out yet. But Liverpool also needs to stay consistent, right? We need to stay consistent because this is what propels us to where people start getting scared of you. Because I think we are the only top 6 team that is playing a top 10 team, right?
Yeah.
City played. Who did they play? Wolves? Oh no. Watford.
Tom Cleverley.
Yeah, Chelsea played a team that I don't even remember. Man United played Barnsley. Is Arsenal playing today? Yeah, they are. Right. So I think this is a match that we need to take it serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Big up to ManDem in the chat. We appreciate you guys being here. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please share and subscribe. Okay. What's the name? Wants your numerical. So I think that's what's his name?
Sorry.
Sideline.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No problem. No problem.
I'll send Sideline. You heard it live on YouTube. Well, he said yes, so I'll send it to you.
Live and direct.
Now, before go ahead, please.
No. I have a couple of questions for you, but I want you to do
go ahead.
what you have to do. No.
This is a community. This is a community, Captain. Big up yourself, Captain. So this is a community channel. Don't let me do all the work. Go ahead, man.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Simple question.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about Baleba?
Baleba? I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched much of him.
Okay.
So that would be something that I would just be talking nonsense.
Okay. I mean, just down to the fact that you haven't watched much of him as a player.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know, at the moment, I think there are a couple of clubs already talking to
Brighton, right?
There are a couple of clubs already hoping.
I know people,
and for me, it makes sense. It makes sense.
He's young. He has energy.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy. I know a lot of people. I saw a tweet where people were like, maybe Liverpool should go for him in January.
No, it's too early.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. What we need right now is somebody in January to finish the rest of the season, which will throw a little bit. Somebody who's like, I know somebody said Szoboszlai is our wild card. But we actually need somebody from outside to be a wild card, whether the person is.
What do you mean wild card?
Meaning, and this was going to be this segue perfectly to the rumors that won't die, even though people are accusing me that I'm the one keep bringing the rumors back. That this Zubimendi thing is not dying, right? This Zubimendi thing is not dying. The fact that Rodri got injured, that means I'm telling you, November 1 and the transfer window is going to go haywire. It's not even going to be December anymore. It's going to start in November, right? The fact that Rodri is gone for the rest of the season, City direct replacement, they will say, he's the guy who replaces you in the Spain team, so we can use you here. But they are two different players. Rodri, you're not going to
not really different, but quite different.
Quite different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rodri is a Fabinho 2.0.
Yeah.
Or 3.0. You know what I mean?
He's slightly disrespectful on Rodri, but yeah, I get your point.
There's no disrespect. At one point, Fabinho was that dude. The only reason why we didn't see him in the world stage was because Casemiro was still in the Brazilian team, and the manager at the time loved Casemiro more than he liked Fabinho. So Fabinho, most of the time, international game, he was sitting on the bench. City's answer to Fabinho was Rodri, and Pep polished him for him to score goals. That is what Fabinho didn't do enough. The problem what people have with Fabinho is towards the end of the season, he was just done.
But I guess Fernandinho gets slightly disrespected because I don't think it was City's answer to Fabinho, but it was like a succession process for Fernandinho. That's what I think it was.
I think because Liverpool was chasing City, right? So we need a spine, and we find Fabinho. And remember when Fabinho even first came to Liverpool, Klopp was trying to make him into an 8 until we went to Paris and he put him at 6, and then he came back and said, "Oops, my bad." I'm like, bro, what do you mean, "Oops, my bad"? You knew who this guy is. And then he never changed since then, right? Because remember when Fabinho came in, everybody's like, why is he not playing? Oh, he's not ready yet. Because they were putting him in a position that was not his position. Until Klopp put him in where he needed to be, then we were like, okay, we got that's one.
No, but I thought the problem was the fact that he was playing as a single pivot and he was always used to playing in a double pivot.
That was one of them.
It took him a couple of games to really get acquainted to playing alone there. Yes. And I remember there were games where Klopp used him with another person, be it Keita or he was Thiago as well.
Mm-hmm. I remember even Keita, when Keita first came in, he put him as a lone 6 because Klopp wanted somebody who could start control the game. Yeah. That's what Klopp's idea was. Somebody who can control the game at the 6. He didn't care if that person can be a defensive midfielder. He just wanted somebody who can control, because Klopp's midfield was the engine. Start the game, let's go. But then he realized that, okay, this guy, to us, we felt like Fabinho was slow, but he wasn't. Trust me, he looked slow because he's so lanky. But then when he got
he wasn't.
But when he got old, the older he got in the team, then he got really, really slow. Then the legs was gone. He couldn't even turn.
I don't know why football is that way. And it's pretty much the same thing that happened with Mane. Like I watched
out of nowhere, the form just falls off
last year. And Mane just didn't seem to be that guy anymore. And players just really dropped within the space of months.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what the whole Salah contract becomes very, very. The club has to project, say, is he gonna still play at this level? Because nobody knows when your form does not drop during preseason to for us to know that, okay, yeah, this guy's done. No, it will be in the middle of the season, and then it's like, bro, I can't turn, I can't run, I can't even think. And these players don't get a break. They keep playing and playing and playing. So it's like, at what point, when do you know when this is going to happen? Look at Rodri, perfect example. He's the one who's been sounding that, hey, we are tired. And his injury, it's not a contact injury. He was standing there by himself, and then the leg just gave up on him. And that's the thing about high caliber athlete. You never know. It could just happen just like that, and then it's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but that's what I was saying. But the player that you were talking about, yes, I think in terms of for the future, yeah, we can bring him in. You know what I mean? You got energy. Like, we need somebody like Onana in Liverpool. We don't have that. Somebody who runs consistently. We need that. Whether he's going to start or not, we need somebody like that, where setting games, you need somebody who's just going to be, who I remember, Mascherano type, right? Yeah. I thought Mascherano is even better. Who was there before Mascherano? That man. He stops the game before the game even begins. He knew what was going to happen. You don't see anything great, but if you go back and you look at what he does, you're like, oh man, okay, I see why it is. We need that type of player. But this Zubimendi stuff that is not dying. What do you think?
You know what? I think on a very personal level, I've heard a lot of people talking about Zubimendi. I think Zubimendi I just don't like thinking about him because I think of how perfect he would be in the midfield, and especially in moments where,
Yeah.
because I don't know, I still think that if for any reason he had to, for some reason, find himself in a Liverpool team, it's still gonna be Zubimendi and Gravenberch,
I
where
agree.
you have moments where McAllister could be released then to be the number
To
10.
a number 10.
And for me, it makes a lot more sense sometimes than
Yeah.
Sobosna, especially now that he's a bit on and off.
Mm-hmm.
But the kind of control that I think that Slot wants, Zubimendi and Gravenberg with McAllister is really perfect. But that's not saying, that's not discrediting Sobosla in any way with the legs that he provides, because we forget that these guys run, and Zubimendi is probably not the most mobile, but he's very smart in his way of playing. So it
Exactly.
might change a lot of things in the midfield with a Zubimendi there, but is that good? Is really good.
Yeah. And with me, this is my thing with the Zubimendi thing is whatever Gravenberg is doing with his legs, like the strides that he takes when he has the ball, that's what Zubimendi does with his pass. One
Yeah,
pass and then he split the team. You know what I mean?
and he
And
passes very simple. Is
simple
just
passes. He
crazy.
reads the
It's
game.
very
Yes.
simple, but he just keeps it ticking. He just ticks.
And that's what we don't have right now.
I mean, we kind of have that in McAllister, to what I think. We kind of have that, but it's it's a bit more it's a bit more controlled with Zubimendi. It's a bit more, the thought process is a bit more detailed. There's a lot
Yes.
more detail in the kind of, and it's a bit more defensive as well. McAllister, credit to him, can do a job for you defensively.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's why everybody is saying now that City would probably move to a double pivot, because with a double pivot, you guys kind of, one person goes, one stays, you cover ground for the other person and all of that, which is logical when you don't have like a natural number 6.
Right.
But I think that with both of them, Zubimendi is just perfect in that midfield, to be
He's
honest.
perfect for Liverpool. That's why I'm more in my business minded than going emotional and say, you know what, ban him, he rejected us, so don't go back for him, go find somebody else. So as a businessman, I'm looking at it like, I'm like, yo, nah, let's get him. I'll forgive him. I'll forgive him. If you bring him in January, I think Liverpool, we cause a lot of, because that could be the X factor where people would, because usually by the half of the season, you've been figured out how you play. So
I mean,
towards the
I'm
end
not
of the
thinking
season,
January. I'm thinking next season. But then again, you never know. I'm more of next season than January, because I don't see it happening in January personally. And again, one thing with FSG is they don't just move on like that. They have a list of players that they like, and they like what they like. So
yeah,
it's not one of those instances where, because we didn't get Zubimendi, we move for the next option. They've clearly showed that in the past, and
no,
that's clearly what we're seeing. And we don't. The thing with football is we never know the conversations that happen behind. It could be the fact that everybody says it again is said over and over that he called Edwards to explain the
the
whole
reason
situation.
why, yeah,
There's no way in this world that we got into a negotiation with a player that did not want to come. So something definitely went wrong. And the fact that the communique that we're having is he called the
Hughes,
Edwards to explain. Oh, Hughes, sorry,
yeah,
to explain what his reasoning was and everything. I guess it makes sense. Everything around the story just make the fact that he hasn't had a new contract, the fact that I hear the president came out to say that he wasn't promised it wasn't any guarantee. A lot of it just makes sense, and I think
yeah,
that there's an argument for us going back in next season, and it's one of those where I'll give a lot of props to Slot for even just being in the position where you don't panic. For you to just come in brand new and you don't panic, it's a lot of credit to him.
yeah.
And not only that, for getting the best out of Gravenberg in ways that we could never have imagined. The guy is just something else.
He did that in one. No, people forget that Gravenberg didn't even have preseason again with Liverpool. He played one
I
game
mean,
against Sevilla.
semi preseason. I
Last
think
year
he
he
had
didn't have
2 games.
preseason. No, he
I think
played
he had
one,
2 games.
two.
Yeah.
It was the Sevilla game. He didn't play any games in the US.
He didn't play against United, did he?
Nope. They were not there yet. Remember the US, all the players in the tournaments, in the summer tournament, did not play in the US preseason yet. He just balled out in he just balled out in the Sevilla game at Anfield, and then the manager was like, I got my guy. That's why he kept saying, if we don't find somebody, obviously you guys know who we were, and the person said no, we keep on moving. Right. And this is the part where I keep telling people that the reason why they haven't gotten an option B is because they haven't found anybody yet. Right? Yeah, you could mention a whole bunch of midfielders and said, look at their numbers, look at their numbers. No, it's not. A lot of times people don't know the variables that goes around one transfer before that person holds the Liverpool jersey, saying that I'm a Liverpool player. It's not just the money. There's so many things that goes around it.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
So many things that goes around it. The fact that you have to get the player's mindset to say, yes, I'm coming there. It's not just the money you're paying. Yeah, the money that you're paying, whether it's the transfer fee or the wages, is a big part of it, but that's just probably half of it.
But and then you test the waters, test the waters. That's the reason why I even asked you about Baliba. For example, I mean, we have to conclude on Zubimendi, but what clubs are doing now is they're speaking to other players to speak to the player to see his state of mind, what he thinks. So it's a long process. The negotiations, or they might even approach the player in a year's time.
Yeah.
But I know that there are clubs talking to influential players to talk to him. Yeah. That's why I asked the question. Because you have to know if the player is even interested,
That's the thing. You don't want to get embarrassed.
I think there's some kind of conversation that has gone on, even to the fact that I know that he the coach of how do you call it? Is it Bournemouth? Has direct connections with the same agent as him and things like that. So it can't just be down to the fact that Liverpool approached him and he said no. There's a lot that has gone on in the background that we don't know about.
That's why I keep telling people, by the time when Austin reported it, they were almost 90% done. You're just waiting for the decision at the time for them to for him to say yes. They've been talking, because remember, Arsenal wanted him last year, January. They wanted him before the summer. Bayern and Barcelona, when Barcelona go for a play, I don't take them seriously because they broke. But they knew that this kid is a gem. Yes, I've looked at numbers that a lot of players, there's even a player in Germany, Stuttgart right now, whose numbers is much, much better than Zubimendi's. But that's the same thing we said about Endo. And now people want Endo out, right? So we just have to be patient and see who we are. Sometimes it's just obvious that we need help in a particular department. Yes, we all get it. But you have to remember that Liverpool has a set culture. The player that is coming in has to fit that culture. You don't want a player to come in and just become a bad apple to the team.
Yeah.
That's also another variable that people need to pay attention to. Have you realized that Liverpool, since Klopp being there, we haven't had any player throwing a fit? The only one was Coutinho. And even him, he did it in a sly way. He didn't do it like what some club like.
What happened.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Just like what's his name, Sancho and Eric Ten Hag was doing at one point. You know, look what happened to Sterling and Chelsea. They basically kicked him out. You know, so it's not just pay the money and blah blah blah. But you wanted to talking about is it Baliba?
Yeah, Baliba.
Yeah. What else you want to add on to?
No. I just saw a question asking what I think about him. I mean, from coming right back to his origins from the Cameroonian side of things, and how he's
the bias. I see the bias.
No. I mean, he's very highly rated in the country, and of course, a lot of people feel that he's the next big thing when it comes to the continent itself, or the midfield we're not blessed with a lot of really good midfielders since I'd say like Yaya Toure coming from Africa and all of that. But and people forget that he hasn't been in Europe for more than this is his third season in Europe, and he's a kid. He's not 21. He's a kid that it takes a lot to leave an academy from Africa and just move right into France, and one season later you're in the Premier League. It's a dream, you see. So it also goes a long way to tell you how good the player is. So he's very highly rated, and I think that I've been watching him for, I mean, of course, since he started playing for Brighton, not as much in France, but since he started playing for Brighton, and it's clear to see now that he's getting to the player that he wants to be. I think that he's still very raw, but in 2 seasons, nobody's gonna believe what they see.
That's what I was saying. I was gonna say, let's give after this season, give him one more season.
One more season.
Yeah,
and guess what the catch is? The problem is if you let it go until if you let it go,
trying to set people up.
If you let it go until the big problem is if you let it go until after next season, then he becomes 150 million. So how do you get him for relatively cheap? Because he's not going to go for cheap. He's good, he's young, a lot of potential, but he's still raw. But the player I see can be a beast.
I think if you go for him next season, he will cost you close to 50 million. But then you're going to have a 50 million kid not playing. That's why we Liverpool, that's where we are right now. If you give him 2 more seasons, then he's one of the top 15 players in the team.
Next year, why don't you buy him from Brighton and send him back on loan?
That would be the same team. That would be the next. That would be something that, because I see him as Lavia. How Lavia's situation
Lavia is a bit more technical.
Not in terms of skill. I'm talking about where they are at their life, where they are ready to go. Next summer, they should be going to a big club. But they go in there not ready, and then the finances is a little bit too high. But just like you said, you wait 1 more year, he's a Casado man. You know what I mean? So the best thing is what you said: buy him and load him back to a team that will expand his skill, so that when you come back after next year, then you'll be like, okay, let's do this.
I mean, Lavia is a bit more polished in my eyes in terms of how they handle the ball, but he's a lot more physical and, of course, full of energy. And again, that's just me. I see him more as a left back.
Oh, really?
That's really just me. Reason I'm saying that is the energy. He's got the legs. For example, see like a Fabinho that moved into midfield. For example, I see that he's got the legs, he's got the physique, and he's good on the ball. And that's what you need for a left back. I just think that he might be too good in 2 years in the midfield that you won't be able to take him back. But a left foot player that plays that well and everything, the sky is everything. Yeah, I think he's a very good player.
That's the thing. Him going to the right club will be important, because if he goes to a team like Manchester United, he's going to end up being. It's not going to work. Yeah, he's going to be a good player in the team, but you're not going to see the best out of him until 10 years down the line, when they have.
Of course, United is one of the clubs after him.
Oh, I know. They try to build that midfield because they realize that even Menu, they rush Menu. Menu is not ready to be where he is right now. I'm sorry, Menu is my countryman, but he's not ready. They rushed him, and then he goes to international break. They play some weak teams, and he plays well because he is a talented player. You saw what the Spanish players did to him in the midfield. Now look at it. He's been exposed. Every midfield that he plays, he gets caught on the ball. He looks like he's too slow. Yeah, he can control the game, but you're playing with a lot of, at the beginning of the season, you're playing with teams that have energy, right? Energy. So against Crystal Palace, he got caught so many times on the ball. And when he played against Liverpool, look what we did to him.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? That kid, yeah, he's good. He should be around the first team squad, getting as much playing time. But I think that, to me, he's like Hendrick to me. You see how Madrid is using Hendrick? He's talented. He can play, but Ancelotti has taken his time to slowly embedded him into the squad. Where you be like, wait,
They
this
have
kid.
the luxury, Kwesi. They have the luxury. That's the point. Like United don't have the luxury. They don't have the luxury. He's rushed. They don't have a choice.
But see, that's the problem. Then guess what is in the detriment of who? The player. Because he's gonna get found out by the time he's 23, you'll be like, wait, I thought how many young players from Man U have come out and everybody said this is the next one. This is the next one. Starting from is it Kiev something? All these kids that have come in, Makeda. Is it Asha something? Same thing. All these kids, the only one who has sustained it is Rashford. And even him, look at him now. People think Rashford is 30-something years old. He's only 26 or 27.
The boy is washed.
You see what I'm saying? That is the same thing that is going to happen to Menu. And even MK told, big up yourself. And he said, even Ahmad, the same thing will happen to Ahmad. And he had a bad injury. He's ready.
I think Ahmad is ready. The boy looks like he wants something.
The good thing that sometimes good players, young players like Pep did the best thing with Foden. Took his time with Foden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But again, Kwesi, I'll tell you, these people have the luxury to put him behind KDB and you slightly introduce him, take him out of the limelight, and it's the same thing with Hendrick. Hendrick has Mbappe ahead of him. Yeah, Januzaj, that's the guy.
Yeah, that's the name.
And take him out, take him in. But someone like what's his name? Ten Hag is trying as much as he can to prove himself, to say, okay, but you guys are saying I'm a disappointment, but I tried to provide this. Menu is my making. That's the only way. Trent was thrown in the deep end, but Trent is just built different. Like Trent is the artist. So
and there's the thing also. Trent is like Rashford, but one of them has a mentality that the other one don't.
I guess what the mentality is, you need solid rocks around you. I believe that the luxury that most of these players have or they've had, Trent probably did not have another person that had, like somebody he could learn from in his position, but the people around him were winners or became winners. So he grew with the team and became what he is today. But with Menu and teams like that are still trying to find their way, it could be challenging. And that's how a lot of players really just fall off. You see, it happens a lot. A lot of talented players that finally don't make it.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. That's a very good point. I agree with that too. People in the chat, please hit the like button, hit the like button. We appreciate you guys. Now, before we leave, I know it came in. Steve, again, let's briefly talk about the contract. I think I'm in agreement.
What was Steve's question? I didn't see it.
He says TAA, VVD, Salah sign new deals or leave on the free next summer.
Steve is trying to put me on the spot.
I told you he's a troublemaker. Steve. So from what we heard, they said Salah and Trent are the one that it's imminent, right? Talking about it. No, I'm not saying
from what we heard from.
Yeah, from what we heard, our source, right? I won't mention his name.
Had great sources.
They're saying that VVD is not yet, but it's Salah and Trent. I'm at the point where if you keep saying Liverpool is a big club, then you shouldn't worry about who wants to leave or who wants to stay. Now, what I understand is the club made a mistake by waiting this long, especially for VVD and Trent, right? Mo, I understand because he just got his contract just recently. Trent and VVD should have never come to this far. somebody somewhere should have started talking to them about it. By the time Klopp made his decision that I'm leaving, they already had their new contract. They already locked in before Klopp says I'm leaving.
Given by who should have done that job?
That was Klopp's.
Yeah, but Klopp, you can't ask players. I'm imagining that players like McAllister, Szoboszlai, and most especially Endo will be fuming. Like, you brought me into this project and you bail out after one season.
But that's what I'm saying. Before, Klopp was there for a long time.
So my question with you is, how would you imagine the same Jurgen Klopp to convince these players to sign a new contract when he's walking out the door? It's not fair.
It's not fair, but at the end of the day, I'm for Liverpool.
Yeah, but I mean, the same players would come to you after you have announced that you're leaving.
Whether we sign a new contract. No, you are right. In terms of, you made me sign a new contract and you're bailing out.
You're leaving.
1,000%.
Dilemma, if you think about it, Kwesi, not cutting you, but if you think about it, the dilemma for anybody who gets into any kind of contract negotiation with these guys is remember, you just mentioned a couple of minutes ago that it's not just a straightforward thing. There's image rights, there's a lot of intricacies that get into, and you think about even the future, like, where does this leave me? If I sign a 3-year contract, how old would I be at that time? What's the next step for me? And things like that. And football is not always guaranteed.
True.
Football is not always guaranteed. You have also seen very good players that are at their peak sign those contracts. Mesut Ozil, Aubameyang, do nothing the day after the contract. So it's you're basically it's a coin. Like, you just toast it. You expect to really have the best outcome of everything. But in a way, go ahead.
This is what I was going to say. The reason why I'm saying this is it's the club fault to let in, especially out of all of them, Trent contract to linger all the way till now. Because at the end of the day, Klopp is not Liverpool. Klopp is just a manager that can leave at any time he wanted to. So if Trent is basing his whole career on Klopp, sometimes you might make a decision that you don't want. Because Klopp is the one that brought you. Yes, you love Klopp, but you still got to give the club a time to see if they can bring a replacement that you might like, right? Now, if you don't like, you can still make Liverpool a lot of money and go to Real Madrid, regardless whether you sign the contract or not. Suarez signed a contract 6 months down, and then he was gone. You see what I mean? So yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, yes. I understand that, yes, there may be the X factor that made you, the X factor was the reason that made you sign was the manager, and now the manager is gone. You could still say, hey, I want to leave. Right? You could still say, I mean, we all know that these contracts, it's just the same thing that even though Trent will sign a new contract, the next manager can be like, hey, that's not my player.
Rightly so.
You see what I'm saying? Which you have to respect that. So it goes both ways. But at the end of the day, Liverpool, Trent is in the business of Trent. He has to take care of himself and his family and his legacy. That's his priority first. Liverpool has to take care of Liverpool.
Absolutely.
You see what I mean? Liverpool has to take care of Liverpool. Whether you take the emotions out or you go through the emotions. So Liverpool did not do their job. Whoever it was in charge of that has a lot of questions. It needs to be in front of the class answering questions why you let your 3 biggest assets run down their contract. At least 2 of them, you should have been having a conversation. They could have said, hey, let's pause. Maybe they did, but I'm just saying from what we know, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that's a good point.
Yeah. Let's pause. Let's wait till the next person come in. Then I'll make my decision based on that. Maybe that happened or maybe it hasn't happened. But so far, all 3 of them say nobody has talked to us about any contract. So I'm using the road that says they didn't do that, right? The thing is, Liverpool for close to 10 years have been run like a perfect machine. Whether it was happening on the field or not, business-wise, since Edwards got that position as director of football, these things were not happening. The only player that annoyed the hell out of him was Coutinho. But at the end of the day, it became a blessing in disguise. So what I'm saying
is very close to the point. Keep going.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
So what I'm saying is, at this point, the club, I'm not blaming anybody else, but whoever was in charge of making that decision, you should have never let it go this far, whether the manager is staying or not. Because guess what? Right. Whoever you are, your priority is the badge, not the player.
Right.
Now, Trent comes in and says, you know what? Thank you, Liverpool, for everything you've done for me. You've taken me to the place where I've never been. Because of you, I'm going to Real Madrid. I'll be hurt, but I'm not going to be cussing him out and burn his jersey. You see what I'm saying? He also has to take care of himself. And the fans, sometimes we don't look at it that way. But me, since I buy a jersey, every Liverpool jersey I buy, I don't put nobody's name behind my back. Tells me I'm in the business of Liverpool. And whatever makes Liverpool great is what I'm in the business for. So if keeping Salah, Trent, and VVD makes us great, hey, you better make sure you sign them.
Better and keep them.
Keep them, exactly.
Because that's your greatness right there.
That's your greatness right there. And please, don't let this happen again. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, don't let it happen again. Because guess what? I've been even saying give Salah 3 years. Give
That's
Salah
what
3
you're saying.
Yeah, give Salah 3 years, because if you give him a 2 year and this year he balls out, and next year you are back in the same place again, be like, bro, this guy is a machine. He can keep going for another 2-3 years because he's only 31 years old. You have to put yourself in a position where you are in control. You give him 2 years, you are not. You give him 2 years, you're not, because World Cup season, every player plays well. Right? Unless you're saying, okay, just like Steve is trying to set you up, Salah, thank you so much, but I think it's time for us to move on a different direction. If that's what you're saying, then I agree with you. Give him 1 or 2 years. But if you're saying that this kid can go for another 3 more years, give him 3, so that at least you are in control of what happens in the future. If things were to go bad, you could be like, hey, Salah, you got to go.
I mean, we're also talking about business people, and business people do business. And the good thing about these people is they don't feel what we feel. It's never big player. Okay. And the thing about us Liverpool fans is we are very emotional. And every time that I think, that's why I keep talking about my head and my heart.
Yeah.
Like what my heart wants. If it's down to my heart, like I'll just say, let's get all 3 of them to sign the contract tomorrow, which of course, is something that will not happen. And the reason I was saying that you're getting very close to the point is I want us to also remember that the people in charge of signing players or extending players, we didn't have them. Edward left. I can't remember who Edward's assistant was that eventually took over from Edwards. I can't remember his name, but yeah, whoever he was, I just skipped my mind. But he came in to replace Edwards, and he eventually left. So when you think about the time span between when a player gets to the point where a club starts thinking of extending your contract, I know Chelsea do the crazy thing of just extending people anyhow, or after 6 months, they give you another 2-3 years on your 5 years to make it 10 years or whatever. But a well-run club, the way that you're saying, should essentially start thinking of a new contract 2 years before the player's contract expires.
Exactly.
That's a well-run club, right? We agree on that.
Yeah.
2 years down the line, or when those players were getting to the end of their contract, we went through a transition of club bringing in his mate to replace whoever was there for a couple of months.
Big George.
The Big George. Then you won't expect George to sit on the table with Trent and all of these guys when it was clear that he was only in for maybe a 6 months to a 1 year spell. Your negotiation power is not that big if the people you're sat down with trying to negotiate know that you're out of the door in 6 months. That's not how it works. So you can understand why it was easy for Big George not to get anything out of Trent, Virgil, or Salah. Roll it back until the end of Big George, we had nobody. So when you think about it over and over, we eventually got Edwards in, we eventually got Hughes in, and the other guys. It's possible that they had other things to think. What do you mean staff? Why? Let's be logical. Is it the kitchen staff? Is it Carol or Caroline and Carol?
Caroline, the kitchen lady.
Those are not the people that are going to roll out the contract for these guys. These guys are smart. It's their life, like you said. They have to think about themselves. And when you watch Gary Neville and Jamie talking about footballers are the business. Like Trent is the Trent business. His family rely on him to be the big box. So you won't just have some staff rolling out a contract and you signing when you don't know how your future looks concretely. It has to be a concrete plan. And when you think about the logics behind it, we didn't have the people to be able to roll out that plan. Because it's almost like you're signing a new player. You have to present a plan. This is how we see you. This is what we want for you, and blah, blah, blah. Before the player signs, you don't know who's talking to the player. It's crazy for me and you not to think that there are people talking to all of these players consistently.
Right.
We will be mad to think of it that way. So I think that Trent will get a new contract. I think he will sign a new contract. I've seen whatever the quotes are, and he's also talking about his defending and how much he appreciates what Slot can make him become, which is a good thing. I watched Grease's show yesterday, and it was almost unanimous that everyone said if we had to let one go, unfortunately, it will be Salah. I kind of agree, but I mean, why do you have to let any of them go? But the trick behind these things is let's trust the number. I mean, Edwards have done it. They've done it before in different instances. Suggested to move Henderson on, and we did not. I guess there are things that they see that we don't. And if it's a job that they have to check on these players and look at the statistics and everything every day, I think they have a plan.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, Steve, quick question. I have a question for you, Steve. What you keep talking about ambition. If you were in a perfect world, what club do you think Liverpool should model themselves to for you to think that they're ambitious or the owners are ambitious? I'm gonna say it again. For you keep talking about ambition, that the club is not ambitious. Maybe that's why the players don't want to sign. So, what club in the world right now you think that Liverpool should model themselves after? So, to let you know, that will be our quick last.
Let me this call.
Okay. That will be our 2-minute drill before we get out of here. So I'm waiting for you, Steve. Trap Joe said FSG has already recycled a lot of their club squad out. Yep. So if TAA, Salah, BBD, and Allison are leaving, then you are talking about a total new fresher, which is what we are in. We are going into, Trap Joe. And people don't want to hear it. Liverpool fans is finding it extremely hard for them to get that concept that we are in a transition. Slot has done well by keeping all of club's players and having them playing well. Usually, new manager comes in, he brings his own players. He bought 2 players. One of them is at the club. The other one is still on loan. So I totally agree with that. We are ushering a new era, and the new era is some of our favorite players will not be there in the next 2 to 3 years. And we need to start getting terms. I know it hurts. I know it's really, really, really hard. And it sucks to see that Salah will be playing for another team. And you'll be like, oh my God, Salah is playing for this jersey. Steven G ended up playing for LA Galaxy. Whether you believe it or not, he was wearing LA Galaxy's jersey. So we are at the point where Liverpool needs to look forward. And forward usually means the people that you've been used to for all these years will not be part of those forward people. Remember, Steven G took us to as far as he could possibly can. When it was time for us to win the league, he was not part of it. I'm talking about after this season. No, after this season, I'm telling you, a lot of the first team players might not be there. I believe that. A lot of the first team players might not be there. Go ahead, Inji.
No. I'm just saying I agree with you, and I also believe that these people at the top are not just thinking about 2 years down the line. If you've had 9 years of Salah, then you may as well just have someone in. There's no point. They might be thinking there's no point to have him for one more season and give him all the wages.
That's what I told people.
But also you might also look at it in another direction, saying why doesn't he have an understudy that would. You just don't want to bring someone in and expect him to be the next Salah. So there's just so many ways of looking at the whole thing. And is Chiesa the man? I don't think so, but you never know.
Yeah. See, this is the reason why we never win anything. Bring 2 players in and then we are better than everybody. It doesn't work like that, bro. It doesn't work like that. I keep telling you this, Steve. You build a team. Otherwise, then you need to cheat like City and just spend $1 billion, or be like Chelsea and spend $1 billion and still you don't even know what the mission is in your squad. Enzo is doing well at Chelsea, but it's just too early to tell. The same thing everybody's talking about Slot, that it's only 5 games. People, at this point, if you don't understand that, like Inji just said, you don't build a team for now, you build a team for the future. That's what Klopp did. Remember, he's been building that team for a long time. It just clicked way earlier than it's supposed to. The first season that we went to Champions League, we were not supposed to be there in the Champions League final. We were not supposed to be there. Whatever Klopp did, it was magical. And we took off and we never looked back. The good thing about Liverpool is even when we had bad season, we can recover quick because guess what? Our foundation was great. That's why we are not like the rest of the other clubs that when things go bad, they have to spend billions just to try to even get back. Look how long it took Arsenal. They spent 700 million since Arteta been there alone, not counting what Unai Emery spent, not counting the last few years of what Arsene Wenger spent. So they are already in a 1-point-something billion already. Chelsea, we don't even need to talk about Chelsea. City, they cheated. We don't know that. So you doing the right business is not fun. But I promise you, you're going to be sitting in a couple of years, you'll be sitting there looking at it like, yeah, let's do it. We are doing it. I keep going back to telling people this. Newcastle is the richest club on the planet, 10 times over. But they haven't spent any money. We were told they were going to get Mbappe and Ronaldo and Messi, and they're going to get all the best players and send them to St. James Park. What happened? There's rules, and you have to follow them. So, but Steve, I'm still waiting. You haven't told me what club you think that Liverpool should model themselves after to show that they're ambitious. You need to tell me that. Anyway, do you have any as I said, what do you think the score is going to be against West Ham today?
Whoa.
I usually don't do that. I say we just need victories.
That's a good question. 2-1?
2-1? I can see that. But I see that there's going to be a lot more goals. I'm still...
Yeah, but think about it this way. Brother, we've changed a lot of players. If we are saying we want 11 changes, like the thing is, let's think with our heads.
No, right now it's game day, so I'm thinking with my heart. When is game day?
Because my head is telling me it should be 7-0. Hat-trick Nunes, hat-trick Chiesa. Like,
you know what I mean? It's Anfield, so I'm like, it got to be, because I'm expecting
11 changes. Then we should imagine that there are 11 players that will not necessarily click that much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The thing is with Liverpool, I don't think West Ham, they're not playing well, so they're not going to go really hard. They're not going to go big. They're also in the Euro, I believe, right? So are they? They're in the Europa, one of them?
I don't know.
Okay. Liverpool we're talking about a lot of changes, but I believe that we will score a lot of goals. I have a feeling that, like Trap Joe earlier said, I want to see if Quincy is gonna complain after this game like I did at Bournemouth. I already told you what my 3 concerns are with Liverpool. Start off well. When we have the ball, when we are on the ball control, I want to see player movement rather than static passes where we just standing there just passing the ball. Eventually, there is time for that, but we need to do more of ball, pass and move, pass and move. And then the third one is finish a team off by controlling the final minutes of the game. If you're winning 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, whatever it is, make sure the other team don't feel like we have an opportunity. Finish them off.
That's why. With me? The only thing that you might probably see for the game today is the first one. Don't expect the second or the third.
I mean, it is the progress. It is, new manager, new system, new tactics. So I know it's progress. Progress. It's a work in progress, right? But the last 3 games, we have reverted back to our bad behaviors that we used to do in the previous manager, and that is concerning me. The first 3 games, I won't say we
didn't start any game well.
Yeah, the first 3 games we didn't. I won't say we overly, started well, right? But we controlled the game. Passes was very, very well. I mean, look what we did to Manchester United, and then Brentford. Man, if you look at the stats of Brentford, it's like the perfect game Liverpool have played in a long, long, long time, right? Balance, ball control, ball movement, player movement, defense, whatever. I want to see more of the Brentford, how we played against Brentford. We played AC Milan. You saw a little bit of that because the players will figure it out. So and Bournemouth, and I'm one of those people that I'm not going to start saying this when we're losing or we're not playing well. I'm saying it while we're winning, so you understand that even though we're winning, we still have some things that we need to work on. But I agree with you. I think out of the 3, I think you say the first one. I think the second one. I think the pass and move is going to be better this game than the Bournemouth one.
Endo don't do no pass and move.
Yeah,
your midfield with Diego Jota, Endo, and Curtis Jones. There's no pass and move in that midfield.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying you certainly won't have that. You probably have maybe starting well, more control.
Yeah,
those are things it's in Anfield, but no pass and move. And like I'm saying, if we want 11 changes, we probably don't kill the game off like we were playing Charlton or QPR. It's West Ham, and they're coming strong. Your boy is going to be on fire. His left foot. So is a baller. Like Kudus is really good. I remember the question about who replaces Salah. I mean, I don't want to
say. I've been screaming for Kudus is my 3rd on my list. I have Musiala. I have Musiala.
And you know what? There are certain players you just don't understand why the world doesn't see this guy as good. Kudus was good at the World Cup, man.
He was also the man at the Ajax.
So how do you end up with Anthony where there's a Kudus in the world?
Liverpool, we had the choice between Kudus and Gakpo. We chose Gakpo. So, yeah, I don't know with the Kudus situation. I don't want to start rumors that his attitude or whatever. Nah, it's like you said, it's just some players, maybe, all these players, somebody is hooking somebody up, like they say in America. I know somebody knows somebody, and then it comes to, they are very close. Oh, this is my boy. Can you get him? Because, we work. I think we have a few questions. Honesty has said, what do you all define as a team goal? We talked about that, right? So I'm looking forward to this game just to see your complaints afterwards in the next stream. We just talked about that one too. So before we get out of here, Inji, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you very much. Anything you want to say to the people? I know Steve is still, Steve is a staunch FSG out. He doesn't care what FSG do. He's still gonna be like, get him out of here, burn them people. Big up to Craig. Thank you so much for being in the building and everybody in here. Steve, you still didn't answer my question, man. You didn't tell me what club you want us to model ourselves over to let you know that we're ambitious. Spending money doesn't mean you have ambition, man. You just say that you don't know how to manage your funds. Ask Chelsea and Man U.
I mean, if I had to say anything, it would be, guys, just like, subscribe, share, and as a Liverpool fan, let's always remember to not only support with our hearts but also use our heads, because we especially me, like, it's work in progress, but we have to be very ambitious but also realistic with the owners we have, with the players we have, and the manager. And that's not saying that we should always create excuses, but let's be realistic and sometimes put our hearts to the side, what our hearts tells us that we want, and really go with what our head is saying, which 9 out of 10 times is the right thing to do.
Facts. I agree. I mean, I'm like, if you're a supporter or a fan, just do your job. Support. That's it. That's what your job is. Yes, we all have an opinion, and we need to obviously, voice our opinion. But that's about it. It doesn't mean that somebody knows better than you or you know better than somebody else.
Exactly.
Right now, like, my brother saying, you have to think it both ways. I usually think it in the eyes of the manager and see what he's trying to do. And then I have my opinion and say, okay, this is what I would have done it if I was in their place, right? It's two separate opinions and facts. So personally, hey, he said, check out Alison Santana from Brazil. Okay, I'll check out Alison. Yeah, I know Alison's a musician, so he'll be doing his thing. He'll be back soon. I think they just don't want to risk it. Yeah. Yeah, so big up to ManDem being here today. We appreciate you guys. Please enjoy your week. The weekend is almost here for another game. We're going to Crystal Palace, but most importantly, today's match. Enjoy it. I think we're going to do well. I think we will win. Liverpool is a work in progress. We got a whole new structure, and we just have to give everybody time. But at the same day, you have to support your team, whoever plays and whoever is not playing. But big up to ManDem in the building today. Go Reds. Enjoy the game. We move on. Have they started the draw yet, or is it after the game they do the draw for the next?
I have no clue. I've just been really stuck on the stream. I haven't looked at my phone or anything like that.
Yeah, because I think most of the games have already been played. Some of them were played a week before. So yeah. But it's funny how Chelsea played yesterday, but they have a Europa Cup game coming this week, isn't it?
Really?
I think so. They are in one of the European competitions, if I'm not. Either the Conference League or something. Because the Conference League and the Champions League is going to be played every other week between them two. Because, Champions League are also being played on Thursday. So, yeah. But anyway, people, big up to NG, Quincy Bold. Hey.